Hello YouTube, the new Pokemon Pocket set has just released a few hours ago, and everyone's talking about the new cards from Eevee Grove. And instead of just doing an entire set review like every other content creator, I feel that I should just do the top 10 most impactful cards for this meta. What I believe are going to be the most impactful cards from this meta. Just kind of see if my predictions age well in a month from now. So without further ado, let's get started with number 10. Again, none of these are in really ranked in order, but still we'll just do them with numbers. All right, so the first card in this set that I think is gonna have an impact on the meta is the single point new basic Eevee that we have here. Again, just 60 hit points, colorless, and then it just has, for one colorless, has a collect draw card. I think this is going to be a staple in every Eevee deck, and just decks that want to splash in some Eevee evolutions, which we'll be getting onto later in this video. Short and simple, I just think, like, again, it's pretty on par, I think, in power level to the Eevee EX. Just, again, one energy, drawing a card. I think that's just better than all the other Eevees. Like, there's Eevees that, I forget the one that has, that does, like, multiple damage. I'm trying to pull up the link, doesn't matter right now. The one that, like, you flip a coin for every time you keep getting a heads, you do 20 damage each time. Honestly, I feel like this Eevee is just better, because I just think, like, filtering through your deck, draw power is just very strong in this game. Just getting to your pieces as quickly as possible. So again, I think that this card is going to be really good cards in this meta. So try to pull it, or get it from a wonder pick. So yeah, that is the first card on this list. So at the number 9 spot, once again, another Eevee. This time is the Eevee EX. I was very lucky to pull the immersive version of this card. It looks very nice, very, very cool. I told myself I wasn't really going to pull on this set, but then I was like bored. I was like, you know what, whatever, we'll do a 10-pack. I'm probably going to do another 10-pack as well. I said, screw it, cards, the art and everything looks nice, interesting set. So I said, you know what, why not? But yeah, I think this card is going to be very impactful as well. The fact that you could run basically 4 Eevees in your deck now and just have consistency in getting your Eevee evolutions, or you could do a 2-1, maybe like 2 Eevee X, one of regular 1-point Eevee, or 2 of the 1-point Eevee, and then 1 Eevee X in your deck is really nice. Again, I just think it's going to build consistency, especially in some of these Eevee decks where you're going to be running multiple Eevee evolutions, and just the fact of you can have like variety in what type of Eevee evolutions you want to run because you're running more Eevees in your deck. Pretty straightforward. Again, it's really nice too that it has 90 hit points, so it's not going to get one-shot immediately, and then, bite for 30 is good. It's good. So yeah, great card, great card. Again, I think this is going to be a pretty relevant card in the meta this month. So yeah, this Eevee here gets a number 9 spot. Alright, so at number 8 is a card I feel that is gonna be very underrated at first, and people are just not gonna care about it too much, but I think it might have some use as like a one-of-tech supporter card. I genuinely think Penny is going to be pretty interesting in this meta. I don't think it's gonna be used a lot in like the first 1 to 2 weeks, but I think as like people start solving the meta and deck lists start to get like finalized, then this card is going to be an interesting tech card. So if you don't know what Penny does, it is look at a random supporter that's not Penny from your opponent's deck and shuffle it back into their deck and use the effect of that card as the effect of this card. The potential of this just being a third research in your deck is, I think, pretty strong. Again, in those situations, it's kind of high rolly, but I think the strength of this card is its late game potential. Because the thing with Pokemon Pocket is it's a 20-card game, so you pretty much know a lot of the times, depending on what matchup you're in, what supporters your opponent is running, and you can kind of calculate depending on what cards are in your opponent's drop zone compared to in their deck and in their hand, and then a lot of people run similar deck lists, so you can kind of capitalize on this, and I feel like there will be interesting situations where, you use this card and it's kind of basically a 50-50 coin flip if you get that supporter that you're going to need to win the game. Like, let's say your opponent has a Cyrus, and they maybe have like one more research in their deck, and you don't have a Cyrus in your hand right now, but this Penny is basically a 50-50 coin flip of you potentially getting that Cyrus off from your opponent to help you win the game. So I think there's going to be really cool interactions like that that are actually going to help players win really tough matchups or just close out really tight games in the late game. So I think as a late game card, Penny is going to be pretty impactful. So we'll see if this ages well. But I haven't seen a lot of people talk about Penny, and I think it's kind of underrated right now. But again, the set just released, but it was revealed in the trailer, and I don't remember people talking about it too much. I think Penny is going to be pretty meta relevant. But we'll see if that take ages as well. But yeah, Penny at the number 8 spot. Alright, at the number 7 spot, we have the Sylveon EX. This is a card that was bothering me when I played a game in casual mode earlier this morning. Yeah, this card I think is, again, I mean, everyone has said that this card is going to be good, and I think it's going to be good as well. Kind of sucks that it gets one shot by Solgaleo. But again, I think this card is going to be really strong in, like, there's a deck where you run Sylveon, and then you run the 1-point Sylveon, and then you just deal a lot of damage with the 1-point Sylveon again. So what this card does, Happy Ribbon, once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may draw 2 cards. And again, because you have the potential of running 3 or 4 just the regular EVs in your deck, it's really not that hard for your opponent to just get 2 of these things out very early into the game and then just draw 4 cards and just go through their deck very quickly. I've seen it happen, and I feel like it's pretty consistent. Yeah, it's pretty scary. Yeah, and then again, Fairy Wind, Psychic, and then a Colorless Energy for 70 damage is good. 140 HP, good. Again, I just think this is going to be a good card. It's just a good card. I think it's going to be impactful in the meta. Just cards that draw you more cards are just good for consistency's sake. And then again, since you can run multiple EVs in your deck now, you can run up to 4 EVs in your deck. Again, I think it just increases the consistency of this card, and I think this card is going to be very annoying. We're going to see some annoying Psychic decks, I feel like, this month. So yeah, I got this card at the number 7 spot. Alright, at the number 6 spot, I have Flareon EX. I think that this card, I don't think it's gonna be as strong. Like, I don't know, some people might be saying, yo, it deserves number 3. I don't know, like maybe top 3. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of spoiling the video, but like the regular 1-point Flareon is on this list, and it's higher. I feel like it's kind of better. But this card too is still, I feel like it's kind of interesting. So again, if you don't know what it does, Combust is its ability. Once during your turn, you may attach a fire energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. If you do 20 damage to this Pokemon. I do like that it does damage to itself. They have learned from Giratina, so yeah, any type of energy acceleration like that just for free, the Pokemon should be doing damage to itself, you know. So yeah, they've learned from Giratina. But yeah, I just think, again, energy acceleration just in general is really strong. So I think just from that, I have to put this card on the list. Just from that, again, 150 HP is good, and then being a fire Pokemon is really good with all of the Buzzlords running around, and I think they're still going to be running around in this meta, so again, that's good. Again, Fire Spin on 130. You have to discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon, but I really don't think it's that big of a deal because, again, it can accelerate its own energy. And yeah, 130, it pretty much just one-shots an opponent's Buzzlord unless they have a cape on it. But then again, you can use certain items or other supporter cards to increase that damage as well. So I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a pretty solid card in this meta. I think there might be some interesting decks that come out of it. I don't know. People might combine this card with like Infernape or something. We'll see. Or maybe people just might run this card with like the regular 1-point Flareon, and I actually think that might end up being the best way to play this deck. But we'll see. Again, very interesting card. Again, I don't think it's gonna be that impactful because there are other fire decks that I feel are going to be stronger in this meta, which you're going to get into later, and it is involves my favorite Pokemon of all time. I think I'm getting a little carried away with the spoilers, but yeah, this card, number 6, I think. Yeah, number 6. All right. So the card I have in the number 5 spot is, I feel it's kind of surprising for people, is going to be Galvantula. This single point Galvantula. I almost like Galvantula EX. There's no EX. This card, I feel is going to be very toxic. I'm putting that out there now. I feel like this card is going to take people by surprise. So what it does, it evolves from Joltik, stage 1, 80 hit points. That is a negative from this card, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. We'll see. Maybe I'm tweaking here, but I'm investing stocks into this early. So Electric Shock for 70 damage, 2 electric energy. Discard all energy attached from this Pokemon. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Again, I think paralyzed is pretty strong with this. And then the thing that makes this card very interesting and why I think it's going to end up being really good in this format is that it has 0 retreat. And the discarding all of the energy I don't think is really a problem because electric decks have a lot of ways to accelerate energy. You have Zeraora, which is insane. And then you can splash this card with Oricorio, which is still very strong. Tapu Koko, which is still good. Tapu Koko is a great Pokemon. So again, that's energy acceleration. You have Electrical Cord for these decks. You have cards like Dawn. I just think that this card is I feel like, and then you could also splash this in with Magnezone too. I feel like there's gonna end up being like an Oricorio Galvantula deck with like Zeraora that is like very fast paced, and that Paralyze is gonna be very annoying, and then like you don't really have to worry about this thing dying. I feel because your opponent's Pokemon just gonna get paralyzed, and then the next turn you just retreat this thing out of here for free, and then you just go into like a strong finisher, or you just stall with Oricorio against like an EX focused deck. So I feel like Galvantula is going to surprise a lot of people. So if you're pulling and you want to like build an interesting electric deck, I think try to chase this card. I think I've pulled 1 copy of it. I'm gonna try to see if I can get a second one, and I'm gonna get in the lab with this card. I feel like this is one of the cards I'm gonna get in the lab with immediately because I see a lot of potential for it, and there's not really a lot of like huge fighting decks in the meta right now aside from Rampardos. And again, I don't even think Rampardos is like a top 5 deck in the game right now, so I don't think you have to worry too much about those decks. Again, and 70 is a good number too. It's just for 2 energy. Yeah, I feel like this card right here is gonna be I feel like it might end up being similar to like every time we get like a 2 diamond or like 3 diamond card that just takes the meta by storm. People don't really like expect much from it. Just like when it gets revealed, it was like that with. All right, everyone's favorite Pokemon is back at the number 4 spot. We have Dragonite EX. I feel like Dragonite is actually going to be good now. Again, having no weakness is great. The retreat cost is not that huge. So yeah, and then yeah, it's good. So I'm going all over the place, but yeah. So 180 hit points, Dragon type, Giga Impact. So this time now, you only need 1 Water, 1 Electric, and 1 Colorless. And this Giga Impact is doing 180 damage. And during your next turn, this Pokemon can attack. But I don't think it's going to matter too much because 180 is nuts. That pretty much one-shots like everything in the game because a lot of Pokemon are not really getting to like 200 HP. So this pretty much like just one-shots anything in the game. Like 180 is nuts. Again, I don't know right now like what kind of cards you partner with this. Like what's it's gonna be like, because a lot of the times in this meta you have like your big boss Pokemon, and you have like maybe like a stage 1 or like a basic Pokemon that you partner with your big boss card. And then you have like your 2 beaters. So I don't know. I mean, obviously you have things like Manaphy that you can run with this card too. But I don't know. I don't know yet. But I just feel from the fact that it's just doing 180, I feel like it's just going to be meta relevant. So this is just me playing it safe. I don't really have too much of a reason. I'm just expecting Dragonite to be strong because 180 is huge, and you know the cost for this card is not that high to use its attack. So this is good. So you know, dual energy decks might actually be a thing in this upcoming format. So yeah, pretty simple with Dragonite. I pulled a copy of it. I'm hoping to get a second one, so I got to get in the lab with this card. But just like initial first impressions, like just a couple hours since the set dropped, and I kind of only woke up like a couple hours ago. I don't know. Like I don't know immediately yet what to partner up with Dragonite, but again, something in me feels like this card is gonna cook. So yeah, we have Dragonite at the number 4 spot. All right, so in the number 3 spot, I have Flareon I have the single point Flareon. I think that this card is arguably, you could arguably say it's top one. I feel like this card is going to be like the Sylveon of this set. This card is actually insane. This card is nuts. So if you don't know what it does, 110 hit points, and then it evolves from Eevee, obviously. So it's 1 fire energy and 1 colorless energy. Assisting heater does 40 damage, and then you take a fire energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your benched Pokemon. This card is insane just for energy acceleration. We all know how important and how integral that is in this game. This card is nuts. The fact that it is a stage 1, 40 damage is good, and just the fact that you can accelerate your bench with this card. I'm telling y'all now, there is going to be very disgusting fire decks created with this Flareon right here. Again, you could pair this with the Flareon EX. I feel like that's definitely going to be a thing that happens. I'm testing this card with Incineroar because I feel like just any way you can get your Incineroar up to like that 3 energy as fast as possible. I see the vision with this. And then also too, I feel like we might end up seeing like an Infernape deck with this card. I feel like that might end up being a meta option in this format because, again, Infernape, free retreat cost, so I think it kind of pairs with Flareon pretty well. I actually think there's like very good interaction with that. And then also fact too of just Infernape only needing 2 energy to attack. So now you don't have to be so reliant on Dawn, you just have the Flareon here. So I think that there's going to be a Flareon Infernape deck that is going to surprise a lot of people. So again, like if you're playing for this set, I would try to pull for this card, or just like if you see this card in Wonder Picks, try to get it. Plus too, the 1-star version of it is very cute, very nice art. I got one from a Wonder Pick myself, and I'm very happy about it. But yeah, invest in Flareon stocks. Yeah, I really do feel like this card is going to be stupid. Very stupid, and people are going to get annoyed with it very quickly. I'm telling you now, I feel like it's going to be the Sylveon of this set, and if I'm wrong about this, then I guess I just don't know card design, and I'm a fraud, and I'll take my L. But again, we are all human beings, we're all learning. No one knows it's going to be the best card in this set until like maybe like a couple weeks in, so yeah, I'm gonna put Flareon at number 3. I'm putting Flareon in number 3. All right, so at number 2 we have a Pokemon that people have been asking for to get in EX. You know, it's good that Dennis not playing favorites. We have Primarina EX. This card I feel is very stupid. I feel like water decks are finally gonna be back in this meta game. You know, we kind of started seeing at the end of last meta that people are running Sylveon with wow, why am I forgetting the name? Wow, I blanked. Palkia. Wow, that was so bad. That was a horrendous one. I'm gonna keep this in the video. That was hilarious. But yeah, we started seeing Sylveon run with Palkia, so water decks are kind of making a comeback, but I think with this card right here, it's very stupid. Hydro Pump is 1 energy, does 40 damage, but then if this Pokemon has at least 1 extra water energy attached, this attack does 40 more damage. So you can have a high roll moment with Rare Candy plus a Misty, and on your first attack with this thing, this thing is going to be doing like 80 damage. That is disgusting. That is so disgusting. That is so disgusting. Plus with another card that we're going to be talking about later in this video, that damage can get even higher. Very stupid card. This card just capitalizes on Misty a lot. This card plus Misty is going to be very stupid. The fact that it also can be healed from Irida and already has 180 HP. Very stupid. It's going to be very tanky. I feel like the healing on this thing is going to be insane. It has very insane rush potential. You also have its other attack for 3 water energy, Sparkling Aria, which does 100 damage, and you heal 20 damage from this Pokemon. Again, 100 plus the 80 from the Hydro Pump. If you get max potential from your Hydro Pump, in total it's 180 damage, which is perfect number since a lot of Pokemon in this game cap at 180 HP. Just space, without any like Pokemon tools attached to them. So yeah, that healing extra 20, I'm telling you, that's going to be very annoying. Plus again, Irida. So I really do feel like this card is going to be more impactful than a lot of like the Eevee decks. I feel yeah. This card right here, I'm very scared of it. I feel like it's going to be very toxic. I just look at that Hydro Pump attack and I get scared of the high roll possibilities of just getting hit with 80 damage right away, just raw 80 damage. So yeah, Primarina EX I'm putting at number 2. Alright, I feel like this was kind of obvious since like all the foreshadowing I've been given throughout this video. At number 1, we have this supporter card right here. This card is so stupid. I feel like, you know, we should put the full art here. This is dope. This card right here, I feel like is going to end up being the best card in this set. So, if you didn't know what this card does, during this turn, attacks used by your Decidueye EX, Incineroar EX, or Primarina EX do 30 damage to you, plus 30 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Now, for Decidueye, I don't really think it's going to be that big of a deal because Pierce the Pain is to the bench, and this is to active Pokemon, so it's like, I don't see the vision of it too much. But for Incineroar and Primarina, it's very stupid. Very, very stupid. Very stupid card. Let's first look at Incineroar EX. I'm getting very close. I need to save up and do more pulls. I'm very close to getting this card. I want this as like a prize card for me. Besides the point. So the fact that this now can just do 60 damage plus a 20 from burn just raw for 1 energy, and you can high roll this with a rare candy is so stupid. That is broken. That is absolutely broken. That is insanely cracked. And if your opponent doesn't flip heads when they got burned, then they're getting an extra 20 when their turn ends. So that is like 100 total damage. That is stupid. That is so stupid. The fact that also, too, this can now become 160 is very stupid. Very stupid. Incineroar, I feel, is just with the fact of this supporter card releasing, I feel like Incineroar, with this buff, basically, I feel like Incineroar might end up being better than Charizard now in this format. Just Incineroar has now an insane buff. You can run Incineroar with Flareon, the single point Flareon, and then with Yaoi, however you pronounce this nigga's name. I feel like I'm not pronouncing it right, but again, whatever. I'm fraudulent with that. But yeah, Incineroar is going to be very stupid with this card. Very, very stupid. And then with the Primarina EX that I just talked about earlier, again, this can jump up to 110. So 1 energy, mind you, for 110. 1 energy for 110 damage. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Or it can become 130 and heal 20. Broken. Absolutely cracked. Absolutely cracked. I absolutely cracked. I don't understand what they were thinking with this card. This card is insane. This is insane buff. It is so stupid. It is so stupid. This card right here, I'm saying it right now. We will see if this take ages well. But again, I feel this is gonna be like the chase card of this set because holy is very strong card. I don't really think there's really too much else to say about it. 30 plus damage is so stupid with the cards that it's giving that access to. Again, Incineroar, I'm expecting some foolishness. I'm genuinely expecting very foolish decks to arise in this game. Thanks to this card. And again, actually, I feel like I'm more scared of Primarina EX than I am of Incineroar, thanks to this buff. I'm genuinely more scared of this because, again, the potential to get hit with for 1 energy and get hit for 110 is disgusting. Like, Electric decks, please save us. I genuinely think Primarina gets more of a buff out of this than Incineroar does, and this is coming from an Incineroar Glazer. I'm gonna get in the lab with Incineroar, but again, I feel like, you know, you might just want to pull packs just to get this card because I feel like this card Primarina alongside the supporter right here is gonna end up being like the Giratina of this set. I genuinely feel like that is what is about to happen. Very scary card. Again, look out for this card. If this card is not impactful in the meta, I will be shocked. I will be absolutely flabbergasted. I will be stunned because I don't know. Oh, there's another thing too. Oh my god, I just realized. So Incineroar and Primarina decks could tech in a copy of Penny, and you could potentially have a 3rd copy of this card in your deck. That's so stupid. I just realized that. Yeah, no, this card right here, I'm scared. I'm scared of what is about to happen in ranks. I'm scared. I'm scared. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think of my top 10 list. What cards do you think are going to be impactful in this meta game? Do you think I'm cooking, or do you think I'm talking crazy? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want weekly Pokemon TCG Pocket content, make sure to subscribe. Check out the description. They're going to be streaming every few days, a week, and just getting out just some new decks, testing out new decks and ranked. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one, and yeah, I'm scared.